First question from our devotees.
Okay.
Vishvanath Chakravarti says, Bhakti has
Vishwanath Chakravarti.
Sorry. Vishvanath Chakravarti.
Nath Chakravarti.
Okay. Vishvanath Chakravarti says, Bhakti has two sprouts. Way of rules and
Has
regulations.
two
Sprouts.
sprouts, like, okay.
Way of rules and regulations, and Raga-bhakti, spontaneous service. So in our line, we are said to follow Raga-bhakti. But how can we do that if we are not actually on that level?
Then I guess you have to follow somebody who knows what they're doing. I mean, that's the answer. The answer is in the question. Then you have to follow a Raga-marg bhakta, or, representative of that. That's our Guru Varga. It's a mysterious thing, because as Srila Guru Maharaj says, Rupa Goswami, first of all, with Guru Maharaj as a preface, Agyata Sukriti to Gyata Sukriti, then Shraddha, Sarusanga, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, etc. So, but in summary, Guru Maharaj says, a genuine devotee will never think that they have achieved anartha nivritti, right? That they are, however we want to render that, free from unwanted things or impurities, or free from misconception. You see, it runs counter to what we understand to be Vaishnava culture. How can a Vaishnava think that they're like that? Mahaprabhu himself saying, Na prema gandhasti darapi mehoro. Right? Also mentioned in Charitamritam Madhya Leela. About Krishna Prem, Jambunada Hema. Says Krishna Prem is like the legendary gold of heaven. That's what pragmatic philosophers would say, we can't verify that. Let's not believe in that. We can't, we don't know. But devotee, aspiring devotee, means someone who's taking their cues from revealed truth. That's everything for us that Krishna is kindly, mercifully revealing himself, willing to reveal himself. So, we heard long ago Srila Prabhupada quote that verse, Yasya deve pura bhakti tata deve tata guru tasyaite katita hyartha prakashante mahatmana. It's generally easier to have faith in God, or the Word of God, the revealed truth, the Scriptures. But we think of the devotee as being in a secondary position. One might think like that in the beginning. Right? We'll think, the deity, deha dehi vibedo yam neswari vidite kvachit. There's Krishna himself. And then there's this devotee, and We're showing respect to them. Guru Maharaj himself said that when he first came, and I understand you have to ado Gurvashraya. Rupa Goswami saying in the beginning, you take shelter of Guru and then proceed from there. And Guru Maharaj said he was thinking privately, then one day my heart's inner hankering for direct contact with Krishna will be satisfied. So, if Krishna, his devotees say you have to move this way and go in this direction, and we'll happily consent and do all those things. But someday my heart's inner hankering for direct association with Krishna will be satisfied. And he'd like to give credit to his godbrothers who are helping him, deepening his faith and devotion to Srila Saraswati Thakur. I mean, these are things that he has said. And so sometimes praising things that he imbibed from Professor Sanyal, where he gave a Vyas Puja talk, the gist of which was, what do we know of Krishna? He's praising Guru, and as Radharani's delegation, we only know you. Just like sometimes people might criticize the Western devotees or the neophyte devotees, but Gurudev would defend them, like in ISKCON, saying, we just know Prabhupada. And sometimes Gurudev would say, that is their ticket. Like that type of devotion to Srila Prabhupada, like, we just know Prabhupada, we don't know anything else. It can sound, fervent, earnest, sincere. There's another side, it can sound myopic or fanatical or whatever. But Gurudev, he liked it. Because he's such a Vaishnava, it gave him joy. Even if sometimes Srila Prabhupada's disciples were being unfair with him or inconsiderate, he was impressed by this type of single-mindedness. What is it called elsewhere? Ekantiki? Huh? Chastity. He would describe himself as one master dog. Like Milo's not a one master dog. Anybody who's ready to go with his program, he's ready for that. He has a master. What is his name? Samit? Or Samit. That's his master, actually. So he does have a master. But he's like, available. For walks, snacks, I like him, but I observe him. Very independent. He did not transfer his autonomy. He's not initiated. So we're being generous with him. We're not holding him to that standard. He hasn't been formally initiated. Sishas teham saritvam mam tvam prapanam. Arjuna is confused, but he transfers his autonomy, the decision-making, to Krishna. This is something that is anathema to the Western mind, to modern people. They just cannot accept this idea But if we see, if you're like learning violin, right? When you go to the violin teacher, you should just do everything they tell you to do and believe in it 1,000%. You shouldn't be going, actually I picked up a few things before I met you that you might be interested in. That's not the way to approach. Or you say, I'm thinking, could I hold it a different way? No. It's really like hurting my chin. My friends, my Russian friends who run the music conservatory, the wife, Ira, she has a violinist chin after playing for, so many years. So the student, the aspiring servitors should wholly give themselves over for like the famous makeover. To be remade is the best. Sometimes Prabhupada's disciples, their parents would come to see them, and they'd see, because the devotees were such fanatics, and I mean that in a good way, they wouldn't stop even while their parents were there. They'd keep doing like what their seva is. And in some instances, the parents were like astonished. They said, at home, we can't get him to do anything. And here, he's like constantly, doing good things. So the transfer of autonomy, we think that means we're like, yeah, I'm ready to do that, as long as it goes your way. Right? Krishnanushīlanam, we think means doing what I like to do for Krishna. That's Krishnanushīlana Sangha. Me doing what I like to do in Krishna consciousness. But, Gurudev was very tolerant with us. He would press himself on his own tolerance sometimes and say, well, because Guru Maharaj was so tolerant with me, therefore I must be. Others, because once in Lakda in Petersburg, we were in a situation that I felt was intolerable. Some girl spouting upasiddhantic things that I just, gritting your teeth. I keep looking over at Gurudev, and he's like looking at me, and then when she finished and she left, I said, Maharaj, I can't believe it, you're so tolerant. And he said, no, I was thinking you're tolerating, so therefore I was tolerating. He said, no, I was looking at you thinking, I can't, this is, Then I felt good, like, oh, at least he felt it was intolerable also. So, but why did I say this? There's a reason. The transfer of autonomy. What was the original question? Oh, about the two sprouts. Right, so Guru Maharaj will say, until the raga side of things is real, then you're bound, and what is it? Svajatya Snigdhe, anyway, it's Rupa Goswami. You know that, Dinashraya? This Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu sloka. Sajatya, something, Snigdhe, saying, until that flow is naturally, spontaneously expressed, then you shall be regulated by the scriptures. So then if we add this too, a devotee will never think they've achieved anartha nivritti. You'll come to Gurudev's, Srila Govinda Maharaj's determination, where he said, and I thought this was really beautiful, if you can understand it. He said, Guru Maharaj's opinion is, even if you're qualified, you shouldn't do it. That makes it really clear. So you don't have to play this game about whether or not you're qualified or you're not. Oh, it's not about the golden heaven. It doesn't exist here. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist. The Bhagavatam, I remember reading that. I think it's in the 5th canto. On some heavenly planets, there are mangoes the size of elephants. Like I read today, a whale's heart can be the size. Yeah. Anyway, on this planet. But elephant-sized mangoes are described in Svargaloka. And then, but they're still like heavy and gravity takes, and then they drop on the ground. And they're full of juice, like a lot of juice, not so much pulp. And so when a lot of them drop on the ground, they make mango rivers, like a river of mango juice. And the sides of that river turn into gold. Do you believe that? It's in the Bhagavatam. It's true. It's such a beautiful thing. I mean, it's there for a reason. And Guru Maharaj says Bhagavatam is about rasa and ontology. So what we can, and Mahaprabhu says it, Jambunada, he's talking about it in his Radha-bhav Subalita, Bhava-duti Subalita, Nomi Krishna Swarupam. So he's saying, it's like that. You can hear about it and understand its possibility, but it's not a thing of this world. And what we want is not a thing of this world. And therefore, Guru is saying, even if you're qualified, don't. That's the best. And we heard that, ironically, in the beginning, from Srila Prabhupada saying, and in quoting Rupa Goswami, means Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu somewhere saying that. Still, and it's that line where it says, even if someone has become that, the Raga-marg Bhakta, they still follow the scriptures. Why? Because all of us will imitate them and go to hell. Become sahajya, imitationists. Like in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, when, and we've seen them, they have them here in this country too, but in snake charmers, they have a basket with some cobras, and they get out the flute or shanai or whatever, and the snakes come out. And the way they do it in India is they have the snakes there right in front of you, and they won't put them away unless you give them some money. That's how they get the donations. The people go, okay. And they go like, what okay? 5 rupees. And the cobra's there going, 5 rupees. Then you figure, why not give 5 rupees? Anyway, they have a snake charmer there. Haridas Thakur is walking by, and in his plane, when he sees these snakes, they remind him of Ananta Shesh. and in a deep way. So he enters a state, a divine ecstatic state. He falls on the ground. His body starts displaying ecstatic symptoms. He's saying Ananta. Balaram, the expansion, Ananta. And afterwards, when he comes out of this ecstatic trance, local people, they're taking his feet dust. They realize they're in the presence of a great Vaishnava, a great, one of these Siddha Purush, Mahapurush, great, divine, liberated soul. But there's, we're told, an envious Brahmin watching all of this. He's saying, I can do that. What he did, I can do that. I can do it better than he did. So he becomes ecstatic, falls on the ground, and does his routine. As Rupa Goswami warns in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there are those who are sentimental by nature. They cry, over a beer commercial. Brings tears to their eyes. And when they hear Bhagavatam or about Krishna, he's saying they're not genuine devotees. Other type, actors. Let me see, the professional actors, they can say, in this scene, this happened, and then you break down crying. They go, all right, speed, action, and tears fall out of their, it's amazing. Right at the exact point, the focus puller's there, you see the tear come down from their face on the perfect word. They're expert at it. Rupa Goswami is saying, not like that. That's not devotion. It's not real. So that Brahmin, he puts on a show, an act. And the people, they're kicking him and beating him. And he's thinking, what? When he did it, you're taking his feet dust and everyone's bowing. Now I'm doing it. Because they may have been simple-hearted, but they weren't fools. So, not to mislead the non-liberated section. So the superior devotees, they're suppressing ecstatic emotions and feelings. We found it interesting that, Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, the Prayojan Tattva Acharya, it's a famous work, Bilapa Kusumanjali. And we see from there the type of slokas selected by Sahajiyas and the type selected by Saraswati Thakur and Guru Maharaj. And one in particular comes to mind. It expresses service aspiration. Right? Not about other things. Service aspiration. Ashabare amrita sindhu mayi katanchit kalo mayati gamita kila sampratam hi tvam chet kripam mayi vidashashri naiva kimme prane brajena chabororu bakarenapi. Raghunath Das Goswami expressing that, and Gurma is saying, summary, here he's indicating why is Prayojan Tattva Acharya, the goal, the fruit, the target. Here he indicates that ultimately, and it's back to the original point made by Sanil, our focus is on Radha Dasyam, serving the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani, not a direct relationship with Krishna, not direct association with Krishna. And then someone might think, or the mundane mind will think, oh, well then that'll always be something less than, like it's some sacrifice that's being made. But rather, the spiritual experts understand the inverse. Hladani Shakti Karan Pushti, Lila Pushti in Krishna. Srimati Radharani, if Krishna is Rasaraj and she is Mahabhav, the highest expression of Krishna Prem, means she can extract the most rasa from Krishna. So a finite jiva soul in direct connection with Krishna, how much can they exchange? How much can they extract? But she, Mahabhav Swarupini, Radha Thakurani, she can extract on an equal level of Krishna, predominating moiety, predominated moiety. The supreme male part, supreme female counterpart. She can extract the whole of Krishna. So those who are serving her, they get infinitely more than would be possible by direct contact, leading Guru Maharaj to conclude, in time I realized the Vaishnava is everything. The Vaishnava is everything. Nirmat Saranam Satam. Guru Maharaj saying, yeah, we can, if we have some understanding of Krishna, Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarva, he owns everything, he created everything, controls everything, everything's meant for his enjoyment. Ahang hi sarva yagyanam, Bhokta cha prabhu revata, he's the Lord. Okay, we understand that. Guru Maharaj said, that's not the test. The test is how you see the devotees of Krishna. Tasmai deyam tato grajam sa pujo cha yatayaham. Krishna says, they're equal to me. However you deal with me, that they can sleep in my bed, they can eat my food, they can do anything and everything I do. Right? And if someone took that to the extreme, we'll say, Ekala Ishvara Krishna Arsabritya. Baladev Seva, even from within his heart for Krishna. But Tasmai Deyam Tato Grajam Sa Pujo Cha Yatayaham. They are as worshipable as I am. Mad Bhakta Puja Abhyadika. And the worship of the devotee takes precedence over my worship. Hare Krishna. Right? So, Guru Maharaj's opinion is, we'll never think that we've achieved that. That will run counterintuitive to Vaishnava culture. And it's also for safety that by continuing to follow the path of Vidhi Marg as far as possible, it will set a good example and prevent one from developing the ego that they've got something. And really what we're told is, no, it's not ignoring rules and regulations or not following them, but rather that no rule or regulation should come to restrict the natural flow of devotion from the heart. That's the idea. And so we see our Guru Varga, they're, for the most part, following everything, the whole of their lives, as far as possible. Health willing, age permitting, that kind of thing. They're following to show the proper example. There are devotees in the spiritual world in Dasya Rasa who, when Krishna came out from subduing Kaliya, and everyone so happy, they went, and some of the cowherd boys, a little bit in a lower position, they felt in their hearts, they wanted to embrace Krishna, like hug him, but they stopped. Thought it was too much. They're right there in Goloka Vrindavan. It's very sweet. Vasudeva and Devaki, when they're in chains and Krishna just killed Kamsa, they also wanted to embrace him, but with Aishwarya again, more consciousness of Krishna's divinity came, and they were a little more awestruck, and it was suppressing their paternal sentiments. On the other hand, nothing could suppress the paternal sentiments of Nanda and Yasoda, including Nanda saying, he may be God. All right, I get it, he's God himself. Still, he's my son. Different type of devotion. Very intense Nanda Jashoda. Hare Krishna. Look how humble the Brajagopis are. I mean, and we just celebrated the month of Kartik, Damodar. They're doing the Katyayani Vrat. They made a deity of Katyayani on the sands of the Jamuna, and they do some puja, and what were they eating? Like, sometimes it says Havishan, other times Khichdi, but like, I can just hear Gurudev say, I'm thinking that Khichdi was very nice. I'm sure it was. Eaten by the Brajagopis, but simple for their vrat, And they're praying that upon the completion of the vrat, that someday Krishna will be their husband. You would say, you're Brajagopis, you don't need to do any of this stuff. You don't need to follow anything. You have the purest Krishna prema in your hearts. But we say they're doing all kinds of things. They're not full of themselves. Actual devotees think that they are unqualified. Or disqualified. That when Krishna goes to Mathura and Uddhava is sent to assuage the pain of separation in the hearts of the Brajagopis, they're thinking that we are simple village girls, cowgirls, and now Krishna's like with these sophisticated women in Mathura. They know how to speak in a high-class way, and they wear really nice clothes. They're thinking of all these kind of things. They're thinking like, after being with them, probably he doesn't even remember us. Probably forgot all about us. Some say that. Then others have another opinion. They think those women are nothing. They can't compare. Can they give him happiness like we did here in Braja? No comparison. Guru Maharaj said when in the Kurukshetra meeting, Radharani and Brajagopis and Queens of Dwarka, Krishna, all of that, at one point they've heard of Rasa Leela, they would like to see it, and they have a Rasa Leela, and everyone is astonished, And Radharani says, that was nothing. You should see the original. They can, who say that, that's Ashavare Amrita. He's saying, I have some aspiration to serve you. That's the sloka that Saraswati Thakur, Guru said, would cry uncontrollably, venting that sloka to his confidential circle, who suppressed even, a tear in his eye that might come in ordinary discussion. He was a proofreader for Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I've seen one of the Life and Precepts books that they put the family, like someone would paste the picture on the front page, and then they sent them to one to McGill University in Canada. Anyway, Saraswati Thakur was proofreader. So in Gaudiya Math, he'd go through the press, look at some galley proofs, like that. And Guru was told, one of the senior devotees there saw once, he was just reading something in one of the galley proofs, and different types of ecstatic transformation started, like in waves going over his divine form. That they could detect that, but he is suppressing. But that same person, when singing the Vilasa Kusha Manjali of Raghunath Das Goswami, expressing his heart's inner aspiration for the service of the Holy Lotus Feet of Srimati Radharani, that brought him to tears. That made him wail and lament. We do not want to imitate them. We want to serve their servant's servant. If we can get that, we're very fortunate, beyond what we can imagine. And all good fortune will come to those who serve the servants of the servant of the Supreme Lord and His devotees. Reading, hearing about all the super servitors, that should be enough to for us to acknowledge internally future prospect, potential, reality potential, which will only be achieved by becoming an exclusive servitor. That's the focal point. Otherwise, to discuss Raga-marg, Raga-bhakti, when Guru Maharaj says, we have trouble discerning the difference between our mind and our intelligence. And I want to say we got the Paramatma world in our fist. He doesn't like it. He doesn't approve. In fact, Guru Maharaj goes so far as to say, he said, if you think that you are Krishna conscious, he said, you're finished. He doesn't say, that's not the best way to be thinking. He just says, you're finished. So from time to time, because others address us as devotees of Krishna, we might think that we are. But the fact of the matter is, our good fortune is we have connection with those whom we understand to be genuine devotees of Krishna. And that's the only known method, actually, so we can be optimistic. Say, because of our Guru Varga, it's all possible. It may seem impossible, it may seem unlikely, but our faith is in them and their ability to transform us through service. What is the Sanatana Goswami sloka? Yata kanchanam jati kankshena. Talks about bell metal being transformed into gold. That's said to be diksha, the effects of diksha. Dibyam jnanam yato dadyat kuryat papa sasangshayam. Relief from what is other than Krishna and coming in connection substantially with Krishna through his divine agents. Stane stita shruti gatam tanuvan manobhir. By hearing, we can hear. The books are full of statements from Raga-bhaktas. So we hear how they address Krishna, how they behave with Krishna. And by repeatedly hearing that, it will awaken some appreciation with them. They say, oh, we like to hear that. Jata swada matkatasu nirvina sarva karmasu veda dukatmakan kamam prityage pyanisvara. Even though dirty things remain for some time, still jata swada matkata. We like to hear about Krishna and his loving servitors and their pastimes and interaction. If we keep doing that faithfully, and serving under the guidance of Guru and Vaishnava, then gradually the anarthas will vanish. Although the devotee will never think that, it will happen. Prabhupada liked that sloka, Nashta prayesha vadreshu nityam bhagavati sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistake. Says nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. The abhadras, same kind of thing. Like there's, what do you call it? The tipping point. It doesn't have to be 100%. You know what tipping point is? Means where when something, it tips in a particular direction, it does that before it achieves 100. So that sloka addresses the tipping point. So we're hopeful on account of our spiritual connections, remaining faithful, chaste to the lotus feet of Guru and Vaishnava. If we can, then by heart's affection will be drawn into their plane. We don't like ourselves without them. We become like that. We don't like ourselves without the grace of Guru and Vaishnava and all these things that we hear. Vishvanath Chakravarti Thakur also talks about this. In the 10th canto, his commentary there, that saying really, and it's something we know too, there are so many descriptions of Krishna and we chant the holy name, all of these things that we do. And he's talking about those in the neophyte position. He's saying, so by hearing, it's not like they're really seeing Krishna, but paraphrasing, he's saying, but they're getting there, and they will. There'll be a time when it'll be very, what do I say? It will, like, I remember in art class, the pictures look flat, and then the teacher explains to you perspective, vanishing horizon, like all these things that you think you're still, it's flat and you're looking, but you're hearing, they're seeing, showing, hearing, questioning, all these things going on. And then at a certain point, it's as if the painting goes 3D and suddenly you're looking at a masterwork and realizing, oh, all that hearing, all of that, it had a cumulative effect. Now there's depth. Something like that, except we're talking about reality and infinite depth. And these paintings, you can go inside them and participate. They're living. But we're happy with what has been given to us. Actually, in one sense, everything is just a question of our ability. When Guru Maharaj says, dive deep into reality, he sometimes quotes the Chaitanya Bhagavat, where Vrindavana says, these pastimes are oceanic in depth, or like the infinite sky, according to the ability of the bird flying in that sky. Rupa Goswami uses the ocean example, the aquatics that are capable of swimming deep into the ocean. Some on the surface, some a little bit, some very, very deep. So it's there, it's just a question of development of faith. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mool Hoy Sadhu Sangha. And same thing for Krishna Prem. Superior association, the association and service of superior devotees results in the transference of that sort of devotion into the heart of the servitor. When I asked Srila Gurudev for some help in understanding a particular Chaitanyastakam of Rupa Goswami, the sloka, and Sada Pasya Srimandrita Manujakai Pranaitam Bahadvi Girvane Girisha Paramesha Prabhritibhi Sa Bhaktavyam Sudham Nijabhajanam Upadisham Sat Chaitanya Kime Punar Abhidashorya Shatibadam. And then there's there's 3 groups. Anyway, he helped me understand something. And then I was saying, when did you learn these? He said, I never studied them. And I was a little perplexed. But you just express so beautifully the meaning. And he said, I am a servitor of Srila Guru Maharaj. And Guru Maharaj, he's singing these every day when he bathes. So he said, I'm in his room gathering his clothes, cleaning, and Guru Maharaj is taking the water going, Raso Dama Kamar Buddha Madura Damojula Tanur Jatinam Utangshustarani Vidyoti Vasana Hiranyanam Lakshmi Bhavan, etc. And I'm hearing. So I thought, this is the example of what we're told. But you serve, and what is in the heart, it's being transferred to the servitor. Tene Brahma Hrida, the heart-to-heart transaction. From the heart of Krishna to the heart of the devotee, to the heart of the servitor of that devotee. That's really Guru Parampara. And that's how Raga-bhakti is transferred. Janmakoti Sukritarna Labhyate. Not by 10 million lifetimes of doing the right thing or a particular procedure, something procedural. But lolyam, when that particular type of hankering is transferred from the heart of one who has such hunger and hankering, genuine, then it's awakened in the heart of the servitor. And that's very fortunate for us, because as Guru Maharaj is saying, Kshiti Raga Radhya Radhe Sadvani Vilasatu Hridi Nityam Bhakti Siddhanta Bani. He slackened things for Vaikuntha Vritti, for our section. It's His mercy. Hare Krishna.